Hi, and welcome to the fabulous Brit Got Your Number Radio Hour. Yes, we're trying to be a news announcer. Join me now. She's a Kundalini expert. She's into yoga. She also likes skulls. That's a conversation for another day. And I want to welcome you, Brittany Johnson. Hi there.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
How you doing?
Well, now that I've showered and cleaned up, a little bit better.
It's really great to see you. I'm glad you took a shower today.
Yeah, I did, just for you. I showered just for you.
Just for me?
I'm teasing you. No, I didn't shower just for you. I showered for the entire breath of humanity that's going to run into me at some point today.
The breath of humanity. You know what I love? I love when people call you a has-been.
I am a has-been.
No, I just think it's a compliment.
Well,
in order to be a has-been, you had to be something.
Yeah, a has-been is one step better than never was. It's a little bit better. So yeah, I'm okay, perfectly okay with that.
I can't even be a has-been. I think it's just solid wannabe. Solid.
Yeah. Well, you've succeeded in wanting to be many things, and you've accomplished that. Don't play yourself down.
I'm not.
No, don't.
I'm not. I'm a projector.
Now, explain to people that don't know what a projector does.
What difference would it make? Because if it isn't about them, nobody cares.
That's really true.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's got to be about them. But I have something that bubbles up to the top. It's waving up to the top. Bubble to the top. Wave to the top. I have something to ask you.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to think about it, though, just for like a second, a quick second. I want you to tell me, and I'll tell you too, if you want to know. Okay. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done in your life?
Oh, that's an easy one for me.
What?
The most embarrassing thing I ever did for my life is they asked me to be the guest conductor at an outdoor concert featuring the Hudson Valley Philharmonic. So what I did was...
How many people were there?
Oh, about 100 to 150.
Set the stage. Was it winter, summer, spring, or fall?
No, it was summer. It was summer. It was warm.
Of course, right? Yeah. That would make sense, duh.
Yeah.
Okay, so, hot summer night, cool summer night. Was it raining?
It was an afternoon, and it was not raining. No, it was not raining, thank God. Okay. So I get up on stage, and I have to be, I have to be the wolf. So I get up on stage.
And what was the wolf? Just explain it for anybody that doesn't know.
I just had a radio show in Albany for 10 years. So
okay.
And it was a little bit spicy, let's say. So anyway, I got up on stage with my back to the audience, and I started to conduct. Now, I worked it out so that the more I conducted, the lower my pants got. So I actually I had underwear on. Don't worry.
Oh, you were? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just couldn't imagine you doing it without underwear on.
Yeah, I would have done it without underwear, but I at least had some decorum. I didn't want to flash my ass to, 150 people. So as I conducted, my pants came up, got lower and lower and lower until I was on stage with my pants around my ankles, conducting the Hudson Valley Philharmonic. You want to go out embarrassed? The crowd was dead silent. They had no idea why I was there. I had no idea why I was there.
And nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed. Not one laugh.
Okay. Did you stay up that night and stress that out, you think? Or do you think you slept like a baby?
No, I slept like a baby.
Are you serious?
Yeah. These people
maybe you had a little help. Maybe you took, I don't know.
Pills?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think I did at that time. I took any pills.
You essentially made a fool of yourself.
Yeah, essentially.
No big deal.
Yep.
And then you slept like a baby.
Well, it was no big deal because it didn't happen to you.
I'm not saying it was no big deal. All of them are. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. It's like stuff gets funny. You know this over time.
Oh, you want to hear it? I have tried many things that did not work. And when you do that in front of people, There was one time I remember we did it at the old Broadway Joe's. What are you doing with that? Are you hypnotizing me? I'm following you now. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I am
My ADD's just kicking in, and I want to know if you want to ask a question to the
my
magic
name
pendulum.
my name is Igor. I'm just checking in. I don't know who I am. Yeah,
You've never been hypnotized. You told me people tried to hypnotize you before on your show, but you said you couldn't be hypnotized.
we had this hypnotist, Frank Santos, that appeared at my comedy club. He was
Yeah.
great. Always packed the house. And he was an expert at picking out people that more than likely could be hypnotized. Now, what he did is he got everybody on stage, maybe 10 or 15 people.
Yeah.
And then he weeded them out and kept the ones that he thought he could hypnotize.
Yeah.
One of the things that was his favorite bit was he sent the guy hypnotized into the bathroom. And when he came out of the bathroom, he told him he lost his penis. It was hilarious. The guy's walking around the comedy club wondering who's got my, you know what. So it was so, you had to be there. I know you had to be there.
I know you did, but I mean, you were there, and it was hilarious, and it's a crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Be honest, though.
Okay.
Because it was one of those things that you had to be there. And I suppose what I'm going to show you, you'd have to be there too. But I just want to know. I just bought these shorts yesterday. And I just want to know, do I look good in them?
That is so sexy.
Do I look good in these?
That is so sexy to an elephant. What do you mean? That's horrible, man.
I sent that to Lyra. I said, Lyra, I'm feeling a little bloated.
Yeah, no kidding. What did she write back? I can't read it.
What did she say? She just said that she was super busy at work and she saw the picture and she laughed so hard, and then everybody wondered why she was laughing.
She should have showed them the picture.
You know, the hypnotism that you have to face in New York State is at an all-time high, because if it wasn't wearing a muzzle is going to save your life. Now it's all about the gas stove. Oh, you've heard about the gas stove. People have been telling me.
Tell me about the gas
No,
stove.
you've got to tell me. You're the one that's in New York State.
I haven't heard. Maybe I haven't heard about the gas stove because I don't do any cooking where I'm at.
That's true.
Everything gets.
But I guess all of a sudden there's an issue with them of some kind, another insane thing, another agenda where they're trying to shovel some bullshit into people's mouths, because that's what they do. They have nothing else to do but come up with these agendas.
Sounds like here.
My friend said to me, if you're in New York State, you're on the edge of your seat waiting for the next agenda. There's no relaxation in New York State.
Well, good thing you moved to Florida.
It is a good thing I moved to Florida. Until that state gets its act together, why would anybody even want to live there? It's so sad.
Although I do miss our walks through the campus of Hudson Valley, the Hudson Valley Community College.
Why do you think we did that?
Why do I think we did that?
Yeah.
Because there was no cars.
Do you remember this?
What?
Way back a long time ago. Do you remember this?
I do remember that. I actually looked okay in that picture.
I know you did, but do you remember that? Remember that show that guy was trying to hijack on Facebook?
Yeah.
Remember we got involved with him for like 5 minutes, but we never even did anything?
Yeah, I remember.
That was bizarre.
It was bizarre.
Remember he was trying to do entire shows? Oh, I know what it was. He wanted us to disc jockey 70s and 80s tunes.
Do you know I hated when people referred to me as a disc jockey?
Why did you hate it?
I didn't jockey any discs because
That's
it was
true. You didn't. It's true. Right?
Really. I mean, early on, I had to, but early on, my first job was at a radio station, WAMC, and it was the middle of a swamp in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Yeah, but it turned into something. I was telling my friend the other day that I was walking around the Star Fort in St. Augustine, because that's really what it is. It was connected to a star city. Remember we talked a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
She has the same thing you do. It's called the easy breezy genius. That's where your situation in life is. Like, you got arrested, got a felony, went to radio school, After that, you were lined up with like a crappy little job that no one would care about, but then it led to something else and led to something else. Like you just have to show up.
Yeah,
And
my second job, my first full-time job was at a radio station that was run by a couple of coke addicts. They actually let me pick the music. They made me a music director. I didn't know how to be a music director. They let me pick the music to play. And since I didn't know what I was doing, I was just playing what I liked. The station didn't sound anything like it used to. I mean, it was like all of this other new music by bands like EIEIO and other bands that nobody ever heard of.
yeah.
And they finally came down from their coke high,
Uh-huh.
and they realized I was killing their radio station. So they thankfully stopped. But that was my first full-time job in radio.
Do you think I would look good with glasses like yours?
You would look good in anything. Yes, you would look good in anything.
You're just, I'm so like hyperly focused on the shape of your glasses.
You know, that you should make glasses that have your like fingers sticking out, and you put you put your eye circles like this.
Can I tell you something that's not going to even be like one bit funny, but it's true?
Okay.
First Kundalini Tantric thing I went to was an afternoon one with the guy that had a huge, gigantic turban. This high. And I saw this man after this, like his turban was this high. Right. And I saw him try to get out of a porta potty with the turban that high. Like I watched him limbo. He limboed out of the porta potty. It was hilarious. But that was a different day. Okay, so let me just tell you this quick. Hold on to your seat. So we were at this workshop, and we had to sit next to a partner, and he had us do this, and you had to look at the person, and you meditated saying Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, no, we didn't do that. When you and I did that, we didn't do that. But we did do the Wahe Guru chant.
Yeah, we chanted Wahe.
Okay, so anyway, it was 33 minutes of looking at somebody through this lens.
Yeah.
Did you believe this? And we were sitting there. It was in Troy, New York, at a yoga studio. And we were sitting there doing this. And I remember thinking, you know, it's like if my life has gotten this kooky.
That was kooky.
It's reduced itself to this, you know, really. Like
we had to wear, remember we had to wear all white?
Yeah, and you said you didn't have any, but of course somebody took care of that detail for you, and you don't even remember that you wore it. You're like, I went to the Kundalini thing. You said this on two or three videos ago, but the truth of it is that somebody took care of the detail because you couldn't be involved unless you had all white on. That was an agreement.
Yeah, that was I remember the food they gave us at lunch.
Yeah, throw it out.
I couldn't even eat it. I don't know what it was.
It looked like a little bit like if you opened up a cat food container. Like
it looked like
what could be on the lid?
Yeah.
With a pita chip. So it was a pita chip in the lid of a cat food container.
It was gross.
It was gross. Okay, so getting back to the stupidest thing you've ever done. Do you want to know what the stupidest thing I ever did was?
Sure.
Well, to me, it was one of the stupidest things, because to me, my life is just one big experiment over things that are just crazy. But it just seems to kind of go somewhere, sort of. I don't know where, because it just seems, okay. Yeah. I had a great idea that I would just randomly move to an ugly little rural town, and that it would all be great. Like somehow, somehow. And I remember I went into a restaurant, and it was, I mean, seriously, the ugliest restaurant I ever saw in my life. It was like the ugliest color yellow. It would make you sick just looking at it. It was painted these ugly brick walls, and it was like they gave you ugly mustard. You had no mustard choices with whatever I was having. No anything good. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, and an old lady was ripping the head off of her husband, like bashing him. She had this ugly, miserable look on her face. And the whole thing just collided in on me. And then I remember I picked up the phone and I told you, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the stupidest thing was this. I moved every single thing I had. We're talking every single thumbtack, every single hat, every single thing that I owned to this place, only to turn around and 3 weeks later move
I
it.
remember. I remember this.
So I spent the whole entire summer. Here is a wrecking ball. And
Yep.
this was called my summer. I just wrecking balled my life and
Yep.
did nothing but pack my crap, move it back.
Was this when you had the storage unit, the pod? That was when you moved down the.
No, I didn't move it in the pod. I did it
First
in, I
time.
bugged people
Yeah.
and moved it in trucks and paid them all this money and paid, wasted all this money, 2 rents, because I didn't give up this place, thank God. But guess what I did? Like a complete idiot. You know, that's one of my favorite expressions.
Complete idiot. Yeah.
I was sitting there at the UPS store and I was asking, should I mail these keys to my landlord where I rent? And don't you know, like an idiot, I said yes. So I took the keys and mailed them to him. And so I didn't even have the keys anymore, even though I paid for the rest of the month. The whole thing just collides on me sitting there with this ugly restaurant with these gross people out in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't stand it. It was just positively gross.
I remember.
And then I get a hold of my landlord. Could I please come back?
Yeah. Yep. You had a couple of those kind of excursions.
You know what it is? Something just comes over me. It's like some thought comes into my mind, and then it's like I do it, and it's insanity. I should never listen to my mind.
Well, it's also, it's like what we call a oh God, what's the name for it? Where you change your location because you think your life will be better.
Geographical.
Yeah, I remember.
That's true. It's true. Well, there was issues here a little bit back then in St. Augustine. Don't say them out loud what they were.
I won't.
Don't say them.
I will.
You know.
I know.
Everybody has issues, right? That's just another one, right? Another series.
You're no different than everybody else in that way. We all have
issues. I know we do. We just keep going. So I'm just looking on my phone to see if there's anything interesting. I don't think I'm wasting time. Do you think I'm wasting your time?
Not at all. Of course, I get to stare at you from my computer.
Oh, I have to tell you something fun.
I
took a course on this. Well, no, forget it. I just took a course.
No, tell me.
Okay. You get it. Well, no, that's ongoing.
Okay.
Your life really is in your palm. The life that you're given is the shape of your hand. There's a lot of destiny to the shape of your hand,
Right.
Flip yours over. I don't know yours. Flip it over.
Can you see it?
It's not going to work. Oh, no, maybe it is.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to guess from what I've seen, you can put it down. I think you have an air hand. No, not earth.
Right.
I think you have an earth hand. That would make sense because you are a Capricorn.
Right.
But you're not good with your hands, though. Like, you're not a tool guy. You're not a hammer nail guy. But you do work hard and you work steady. Yeah.
I'm a professional wise guy.
You're kind of a professional wise guy. Yeah.
It's what I made my living at for 20 some odd years.
And you're still verbal. You're still persuasive. That's one of your gates too, persuasive. Okay, so now I've lost my own train of thought. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, what? So this woman in the UK, you get a piece of paper, a certain instrument, and what you're doing is you're scrying drawings. So you're not drawing, but instead you're being inspired to see what spirit wants to bring through. And then what happens is, rather than you depositing something on the paper, instead something comes up, some sort of image. Very interesting.
What came up for you?
Oh, well, if I didn't delete it, I could show it, because it was pretty wild. Like the instructor wanted us to do one for her. And I thought, well, I don't know if she and I had any connection of any kind that anything significant would come up. But then, well, let's just say this. I
Yeah.
started to, do the thing that you're supposed to do. And all of a sudden, what came up was this tartan blanket, like this pattern, sort of, but it was in a, like a, where does tartan matter? Like the plaids, like England,
Okay.
UK,
Yeah.
because it's like the family crest.
Right.
So what came up was an old man in a blanket like this, and he had big lips, and he was balding, and he had heavy, 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 heavy eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what she told me it was?
Henry Kissinger.
No, her grandpa. She said that her grandpa used to curl up in his tartan blanket, and he
Right.
had heavy eyebrows, and she said she recognized him from the mouth. Are you even following this?
I'm following this. I'm following that.
Well,
I was actually
Hmm?
go ahead, just to digress a little. I remember I had a unibrow when I was growing up,
Yeah,
and I shaved. I hated the unibrow because I had widow's peak at the top of my head.
right?
I shaved it. It made it worse.
I bet
Made
it
it worse.
did.
Yeah, it did. It was like I was walking around like Butch Patrick from that from the Munsters.
Probably, right?
Anyway, it was horrible. I interrupted you, so let me hear it. What do you?
But I'll show you one. I can't find the one of the grandpa, but I can find the first one that I did, which is you don't really see anything here other than there's like a ship and all this other crap, right? All this other
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, but the thing of it is it was felt very Lemurian, or could even be Atlantean,
Hmm.
those civilizations, right?
Yeah, could have been.
So you just don't know. Like I couldn't validate it. Oh, here it is. I'll show you the picture of the grandpa.
Okay, let me see it.
Well, let's see.
That's better.
Oh,
Wow.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
There you go. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. And she
Huh.
recognized the features as her grandpa. But the thing of it is the only reason I'm sharing this, honestly, is to show this was not a drawing. It was all scrying. And scrying, really and truly, it's something, it's like you're scrying and all of a sudden an image comes out rather than you depositing it. I know I already said that, but I have to stress that
No,
because
it
it's an
sounds
interesting thing.
sounds very cool.
And this was the second scry. It
Okay,
looks sort of like an Indian guy, right?
yeah, it does. It's a little scary.
A little scary, but the thing of it is the woman that I did it for, the exercise was draw their spirit guide.
Right.
And I don't know anything about her. Like they partnered you up with people. It was on Zoom and you had to partner with somebody that you didn't know. And
Got
so
it.
I did that one. And she said she has a room with all those symbols in it, like on an altar.
Hmm.
And see,
And
the reason that she would is because that guide is working through her, working, in her life.
sure.
Okay, so that's enough.
Listen, I'm glad we did this. It's fun. We're gonna do it again soon.
Why don't you scry something for me?
All right. You want me to draw something?
Yeah,
You don't really want me to draw. I'm terrible at you won't.
it's called scrying.
All right.
Scrying.
All right. All right. So the next time we do this, I'll do that. I'll have a picture. I don't know what it will be, but I'll have a picture.
Well, she's doing another course. I might do it, I might not. But again, this is with you and I always and forever, dragging you through these, dimensions, because
Yeah.
that's what we need to do for each other. I mean, when I say that for you, I'm kidding. And I'm saying it in a nice way because we have to help each other get out of this matrix, because this matrix is nothing but bullshit. It's just got to go. We have to get to the future. So the only way we're going to get to the future is collapsing this matrix and letting go of everything that we think that we know.
That sounds great.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Brit's Got Your Number. Brittany, any last words?
I just don't think you've listened to much, but that's okay.
I listened to.
You end up being like a soundboard for my subconscious.
How can you say I haven't listened?
Do you think you have?
No, I know I have. I
Okay,
know it's like
what is one thing that you got out of this? This is something that I want to know. What is one thing that you got out of this?
about the drawing.
No,
About
about anything that I've been sharing with you. Just
You're a seeker. You are, but it's also because I know you so well. You're a
okay.
seeker. You seek many different things in many different ways, and you're always open to seeing what's there.
Okay, this is my present for you.
All right, I'll hold it there. Instead of presents this year, I'm giving everyone my opinion. All right, you've been listening to Brit's Got Your Number. Brit, say goodbye.
Bye, Bob.
Bye, Brit.